Good afternoon, everybody. And my name is Dave Parkin. I'm the State Sales Manager for Orora here in South Australia, Orora Fibre in South Australia. And today I've got the absolute pleasure, hopefully this little clicker is working, there we go, to talk to you about a genuine game changer in the industry of corrugated cartons. And that doesn't happen very often. Pretty often we just talk about it's just a box. Today we're going to show you some ways that it's no longer just a box anymore. So just as a bit of an overview, today's certainly retail space is increasingly competitive. You walk into a Dan Murphy's and there's anything up to 2,000 different suppliers. And in most categories across the retail space, premiumisation is becoming more and more important to generate the type of cut-through that you require to grow your brands. And what I'm going to show you today, when I talk about digital printing, is going to help you deliver on those specific needs. In 2017, early in 2017, Orora Fibre moved into the digital printing space, with the first digital printer here in Australia. It was a partnership that we struck with Hewlett-Packard for the Asia-Pacific region to develop the technology. What I'm going to show you today is, I suppose, phase 2 of what digital printing, and in particular for the wine industry, will look like. So just very, very quickly, we're going to go back to print school so we can just contextualise where digital printing fits into what we're doing here. So for those of you that know a little bit about the industry, there's about 4 types of printing technology, which I guess is what we would term sort of traditional print technologies for the corrugated industry. Standard flexo, very much where the industry started, 1880, I believe, was around about the first flexographic printing carton. And think old school potatoes, cut out the picture of in the potato stamp, dip it in some ink and pop it on a piece of paper. Flexographic printing is not much more technical than that. We obviously use big rubber print stereos. Obviously fantastic for certainly the volume part of the corrugated industry. Low cost, but also fairly basic in its imagery reproduction technology. From there, I guess you move up to what we would term high quality print capability. In 2013, Orora Fibre brought this higher quality print capability, but still flexographic, so still with the use of big rubber potato stamps, to the industry, and that certainly enabled us to bring product to marketplace that was much higher resolution than ever before, moving into 6 colours and then potentially with a really nice high gloss or a satin gloss over the top. So it really took, I guess, flexographic printing to a next level. From there, you move into pre-print, and if you think pre-print, it's about printing whatever actually that you want on a big roll of paper, and then as we go through the corrugating process, we laminate that onto the board. Think beer cartons is your probably most common type of pre-print product that you'll see in the marketplace. And then from there, we go up to lithographic printing, and we don't need to get into the technicalities of that, but obviously really high quality graphics, but unfortunately with the nature of litho, tends to follow in terms of higher price, and certainly a lot of high setup costs in particular as well. So where's digital sort of fit into all of that? What's so special about digital? So if you look at the spectrum of technology, digital is very much at the upper end of this technology. Incredible resolution. Resolution of our new digital printer can be upwards of 360 by 720 dpi, so incredibly high resolution and registration for graphics. And move forward. In particular, it has some amazing benefits, which certainly where the existing technology has moved far beyond it. The beauty of where we're at with digital now, much higher speed, no tooling. And this is one of the really big game changers for the industry. Certainly a lot of the barrier to entry for flexographic and high quality and lithographic is in that print tooling. Digital, obviously all of that goes away. And in particular, what that also does is it narrows your lead time. So if you've got a particularly urgent request, we don't have to produce all of that print tooling for you. It's effectively manipulate the artwork and press print on the printer. We run tours at our facility in Melbourne where we've had this trial machine, and we take great pride in taking a mobile phone photograph of our customers that come through the facility when they sign in at reception, and by the time that they get to the machine, we've got their face printed on a box. It's pretty clever technology. In particular, again, there's some really good benefits for this particular product, and probably the most exciting one is variable data. So if you want me to print you 10,000 cartons and effectively every single one of them to be different, we can do that for you now. So if you have a particular need around a consumer promotion that needs numbered, or if there is whatever type of variation that our marketing colleagues can come up with, this machine can actually do that for you. And again, in the past, obviously with print tooling type of thing, those types of technologies just not possible. So as I mentioned, we entered the technology back in early 2017. So I'll just show you a quick video of the initial technology, and then I'll show you what part 2 looks like.
So this is the HP SciTech 17000. It is a 4-colour process machine. It has 2 canisters of each colour within the machine to be able to achieve denser colours. The machine has 416 print heads. Each one of those print heads has 192 print nozzles. It's quite amazing technology to use as an operator. One thing that's different about this machine versus other machines on the market is that when replacing a print head, you have to sometimes pull out the entire channel, meaning you have to replace 52 print heads at once. With this machine, you do not need to do that. You can replace just one print head at a time. And the reason why there's so much emphasis on the print heads is because that's the heart and soul of this machine. We look after them every day, we maintain them, we clean them, and that determines how good a product we get at the end of the day. As you can see from the samples behind me, they sort of speak for themselves. So these quality of photos behind me are the second highest level of quality the machine produces. It's display wide gamut. We have the ability to use a wide gamut mode, which lets us print up to 85% of the PMS colours. These are all blown up images. Originally they were about yay big, and we've been able to manipulate the art files here. And some, even the last one down there, was taken on a mobile phone. If you were to send me a photo today, or give me a photo on a USB stick, via email, in 5 minutes time I'll be able to reproduce that any size of board on this machine. The ink that's used in the machine is referred to as HDR 230. It's a type of ink that works with paper and limited plastic stocks. It's a polymer-based ink and it's UV cured. This machine uses a UV arc lamp which runs at 800 degrees, and it also uses a series of LED lamps which reduces the power costs of the machine but also cures the ink on the run, and that UV curing technology allows us to give a satin or matte appearance or a gloss or high gloss appearance. The next process along, if our print was to go through a die cutter process or any folder gluer process, this ink, being similar to a plastic, once cured, will bend around creases and it won't crack. We have the ability to maintain the image's integrity in a finished cardboard box. You couldn't compare this work to a Flexo out there, not even to the HQP. It's just an amazing process, and that truly is the key to this entire project.
So certainly the HP that we've had for about 15 or 18 months now has been fantastic in a learning sense. But I'm going to show you what phase 2 looks like in a minute. It's a video that has been produced by the manufacturer of the machine, so I won't show all of it because it does go into certainly some of the corrugated technicalities, but hopefully it'll give you a feel for what was the technology and now in 18 months where the technology's actually come from. So let me just sort of, I guess, recap on the advantages of moving to, where certainly digital print can fit into potential opportunities for your business. As I mentioned, the whole impost of print tooling goes away. And certainly in some cases around the lithographic printing space, that can be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, in some cases $7,000 or $8,000. And certainly for lower quantity particular products, that's really, really not doable. All of that goes away with digital printing, which speaks more to that lower setup cost. Lower MOQs is a really interesting one too. So again, in the past, certainly some of the better technologies around high quality flexo printing, lithographic printing, the minimum order quantities really for it to be economically sustainable were up around that sort of 3, 4, 5, and in some cases 10,000 carton as a minimum order quantity. Again, from a digital perspective, because effectively there is really no setup time other than a bit of artwork manipulation at the machine, no setup time around print tooling, etc. The MOQ really can be as low as about 800 cartons. So, if you've got this really fantastic little parcel of Adelaide Hills Pinot Gris that you want to put in a really flash carton, but you've only got, 800 dozen or something, digital can do that for you, whereas in the past that probably wouldn't have been possible. As I mentioned, high quality finish. So the new machine that you're about to see is actually a 7-colour machine. So it's a CMYK, orange and violet machine, and it's about to have white switched on as well. So for the first time, we'll be able to print high colour gloss white on a normal brown box, and the finish is actually absolutely spectacular. The new machine that you're about to see will also print, Chris mentioned that the current one does about 85% of what we call the colour gamut, or the PMS colour book as you would know it. This new machine will do about 97% of the visible colour gamut, so it can reproduce pretty much anything that your eyes can see. So this is the new one. It's the Electronics for Imaging, which is a Spanish-Israeli business. The new digital printer, which is now fully commissioned and operational in our business. Hopefully we'll have a video of it, Ennis. There we go. Let's have a quick look. I won't play all of this.
EFI Nozomi C18000. Digital printing revolution reaches the corrugated and packaging industry, providing manufacturers and their customers with simplification of printing processes, high-quality printing without post-process steps, cost and time savings, flexibility and customization. EFI is leading the worldwide transformation from analog to digital imaging by developing breakthrough technologies that will help to accelerate your business growth. Now, we're able to present our latest development, Nozomi C18000, a high-speed inkjet printer press for corrugated paper packaging and displays. It is a complete printing system that integrates feeding, printing, and stacking. Feeder. Equipped with an automated feeder, each board gets inspected, aligned, and cleaned. It allows top and bottom feeding for maximum flexibility. Also, multi-image board printing is supported in 2-line printing for maximum efficiency using full wide of the printer. Nozomi is a 1.8 meter wide printer, so it handles board sizes from 61 by 61 centimeters to 1.8 by 3 meters, and board thickness from 14-point cardstock, F-flutes, and BC double wall.
So just to stop there, because that does go for about another 8 minutes, and Charisse will kick me off well and truly by then. But just a couple of points that I want to pick up on that particular part of the video there, that this particular machine is obviously not just restricted to wine cartons, and for obvious reasons that's our area of expertise, but it absolutely can do pretty much anything that you can imagine that you want on a corrugated platform. So for point of sale in particular, as the video suggested, 1800 by 3 metres is actually the largest sheet size that the printer can print, which should pretty much encompass most people's requirements. And also it'll print on effectively any particular type of flute that's available in the corrugated industry in Australia. So from very, very thin microflutes right up to effectively what we call triple wall, sort of big thick stuff that's about 12 millimetres thick. So just some examples, obviously, of some of the product that we've done already, and a lot of these will be on show down in the gallery a little bit later on, but certainly a really good live example for this one. Our customer in Accolade Wines brought this particular opportunity to us and said, look, we've got 1,000, we've got 500 dozen, we've got 1,000 six-packs of three particular varietals of wine that we're going to make for the Coles Liquor Group. What have you got for us in sort of high quality graphics? We brought this to them, and again, the beauty of this particular technology is that we can print you one carton, and then you can take that obviously to your customer and show them a live example of what it's going to be like. We printed some examples for Accolade to take to Coles. They trotted off to Coles Liquor Group in Melbourne. And the minute that the buyer saw it, he tripled the order. He said, I want 3,000 of each. I think we're up to about the 7th rerun with these particular products for Accolade. So from a retail sense, what that's done for their business has been absolutely spectacular. So, like I said, I suppose right at the outlet, it really isn't a box anymore. We're very passionate about what we do here at Orora, and we certainly do believe that certainly with all of our existing technologies, we help you deliver on the promise of what's inside the box. Great. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Cheers.